For decades, doctors blamed stress and spicy food for stomach ulcers, until one quiet Australian pathologist looked through a microscope and shattered medical dogma forever. John Robin Warren was born on the 11th of June, 1937 in North Adelaide, South Australia. The eldest of 5 children, he grew up in a modest yet intellectually curious household. His father, Roger Warren, worked as a winemaker, while his mother, Helen Vercoe, was a nurse, a combination that likely sparked his early interest in both science and medicine. From an early age, Warren exhibited a keen eye for detail and a deep curiosity about how the human body worked. He attended St. Peter's College in Adelaide, where he excelled academically. Inspired by the world of biology and human physiology, he went on to study medicine at the University of Adelaide. There, he earned his Bachelor of Medicine and Bachelor of Surgery in 1961. Warren was drawn to pathology for its methodical, analytical nature and its emphasis on diagnosis through evidence. After completing his medical degree, Warren began his medical career as a resident medical officer at the Queen Elizabeth Hospital in Adelaide. His early exposure to pathology, combined with his love for microscopy, solidified his decision to specialize in this field. He continued his studies and training at the Royal Melbourne Hospital, one of Australia's most prestigious teaching hospitals. By 1967, he had become a Fellow of the Royal College of Pathologists of Australasia, a significant milestone that marked the beginning of his distinguished career. In 1968, Warren moved to Western Australia to accept a position as a senior pathologist at Royal Perth Hospital. He would remain there for the next 3 decades, becoming an integral part of the hospital's pathology department and teaching community. Throughout his career, Warren was known for his precision, his intense focus on detail, and his unwavering dedication to scientific integrity. In the late 1970s, Warren began to notice unusual spiral-shaped bacteria in the gastric biopsy samples of patients suffering from gastritis and peptic ulcers, conditions that were, at the time, widely believed to be caused by stress, lifestyle factors, or excessive stomach acid. Conventional wisdom insisted that no bacteria could survive in the stomach's acidic environment. But Warren's observations told a different story. Unlike many of his contemporaries, Warren did not dismiss the bacteria as incidental. He believed they were playing a role in causing inflammation in the stomach lining. Despite skepticism from the broader medical community, he pursued this hypothesis with characteristic persistence. In 1981, a young trainee doctor named Barry Marshall joined Royal Perth Hospital. Warren shared his findings with Marshall, and the two began a partnership that would change the face of gastroenterology. Together, Warren and Marshall embarked on a rigorous investigation of the spiral bacteria. In 1982, they succeeded in culturing the organism, which they named Helicobacter pylori. This breakthrough allowed them to conduct controlled studies on its effects. Their research showed that H. pylori was present in almost all patients with duodenal ulcers and a significant number of those with gastric ulcers and gastritis. At first, their theory was met with widespread skepticism. The medical establishment was deeply entrenched in the belief that ulcers were caused by stress or acid hypersecretion, and that bacteria could not survive in the stomach. But Warren and Marshall persisted. Their early studies, published in The Lancet and other journals, slowly began to shift opinion. In a dramatic move to prove the point, Barry Marshall famously ingested a culture of H. pylori himself in 1984, subsequently developing gastritis, thus providing a striking demonstration of causation. Warren supported and guided this experiment, which would become one of the most famous self-experiments in medical history. Their discovery completely upended the prevailing dogma in medicine. Over the following years, H. pylori was established as the primary cause of most peptic ulcers, gastritis, and even some forms of stomach cancer. This led to a revolutionary change in how these conditions were treated. Instead of relying on long-term acid suppression or surgical interventions, patients could now be cured with a course of antibiotics and proton pump inhibitors. The discovery of H. pylori has since been recognized as one of the most important medical advancements of the 20th century. It has impacted millions of lives, reducing the suffering of countless patients and saving healthcare systems billions of dollars annually. Despite the initial resistance to their work, recognition eventually came. In 1997, Warren and Marshall received the prestigious Paul Ehrlich and Ludwig Darmstädter Prize. But the greatest honor came in 2005 when they were jointly awarded the Nobel Prize in Physiology or Medicine. The Nobel Committee praised their discovery of the bacterium Helicobacter pylori and its role in gastritis and peptic ulcer disease, calling it a landmark in modern medicine. Warren was also named a Companion of the Order of Australia in 2007 for his services to medical research. He became a Fellow of the Australian Academy of Science and received honorary doctorates from several universities, including the University of Western Australia, which renamed its medical library the J. Robin Warren Library in his honor. Throughout his career, Warren was deeply committed to education. He taught generations of medical students and junior doctors, instilling in them the importance of observation, skepticism, and evidence-based medicine. Known for his quiet demeanor and dry wit, he was respected not just for his scientific achievements, but also for his humility and generosity. He emphasized the value of challenging orthodoxy and encouraged others to follow the evidence, even when it led them against the tide of conventional thinking. Many of his former students and colleagues recall his meticulous attention to histological detail and his passion for sharing knowledge. Robin Warren's discovery didn't just save millions of lives, it changed how we understand disease itself. If you believe in the power of curiosity to change the world, subscribe now for more untold stories of brilliant minds. Warren married Winifred Teresa Williams, a psychiatrist in the early 1960s. The couple had 5 children and enjoyed a private, family-oriented life in Perth. Warren's wife passed away in 1997, a profound loss that deeply affected him. He retired from clinical work in 1998, but remained intellectually active, engaging in public discussions and mentorship. Outside of medicine, Warren had a deep love for photography, especially microphotography. He also enjoyed classical music and was known to spend hours reading history and philosophy. A private individual, he avoided the limelight and was often more comfortable in the lab than at award ceremonies. Robin Warren passed away on the 23rd of July 2024 at the age of 87 in Perth, Western Australia. His death marked the end of a remarkable era in medical science. Tributes poured in from across the world, from Nobel laureates, medical institutions, and patients whose lives had been changed. Warren's legacy is monumental. His work with Barry Marshall redefined peptic ulcer disease and demonstrated the power of scientific observation. He proved that even the most established medical beliefs could be overturned with evidence. More than 30 years after discovering H. pylori, Warren's name remains synonymous with curiosity-driven science. His story continues to inspire young scientists to question everything they think they know. Robin Warren's discovery didn't just save millions of lives, it changed how we understand disease itself. If you believe in the power of curiosity to change the world, subscribe now for more untold stories of brilliant minds.